Most of you guys have asked me to slow down when doing these reviews. I'm working on that. It's really harder than I thought it would be. So we thought in the meantime, while I try to figure this out, we will work on creating articles that will go with each review and comparison we upload on this channel. Please head over to our website at beingpaperless.com to find the article for this video, and hopefully that's going to be useful. Hey guys, it's Robsy back with Paperless X, a channel that is all about digital productivity. If you're new here, hello. Make sure you subscribe if you're looking for solutions to go paperless with your studies, work, or business. And if you're already subscribed, fantabulous human being, welcome back. Do turn on your notifications so you know each time we release a new video. You'd think Apple Notes would be the application to have this level of compatibility with the mouse, but it's surprising. Notability's mouse pointer is amazing. It's more amazing than the one in Apple Notes, even in iPadOS 14. So that definitely deserves a point. Notability is a paid application. It costs $8.99 for the iPadOS or iOS version. The Mac version is a separate purchase for $4.99. Notability also sells the handwriting recognition feature for $2.99. This feature is essential for searching your handwriting in the application, and handwriting recognition is a must-have in 2020. You can also buy themes in Notability, but those are optional. You don't really need them. Apple Notes, on the other hand, is free. Both Notability and Apple Notes create notebooks in a single tap. Notability supports one paper size, which is A4. It supports 4 paper templates: plain, squared, lined, and dotted. Each of these has 4 line spacings where it's relevant. Notability supports a lot of paper colors. You get 15 colors from Notability. Compared to Apple Notes, Notability's paper customization options are great, which says a lot about the options you get in Apple Notes, because Notability has the worst paper options we have seen in any third-party note-taking application. Adding custom paper to Notability is difficult, but at least we have the option to add paper templates, which is an option you don't have in Apple Notes. Apple Notes has 3 paper templates: plain, grids, and lines, and 3 line spacing options. An additional, narrower line spacing option would be greatly appreciated. Apple Notes has no color options for your pages. The pages in Apple Notes are vertically infinite, but they have fixed widths. The page continues extending downwards as long as you keep writing in the application. When you just want to write on a continuous canvas, then you will like this. Writing in Notability gives you the impression of a vertically infinite page, but Notability actually has fixed pages, which is better for exporting. Apple Notes automatically generates a title for your notebook from the first words you write in your notes, whether they're handwritten or typed. You can edit the title if you're not happy with it, of course. In Notability, you can set a default note title for your notebooks. All the notebooks you create will be named the same, with the option to include date and time. Both applications only support portrait mode. You can't rotate your pages in any of the applications. Your whole notebook has 1 page template down to the color, and you don't have the option to select multiple pages when you want to edit your pages. Notability and Apple Notes definitely have the worst page customization options of all the note-taking applications we've reviewed so far on this channel. The toolbar in Apple Notes is mobile. You can move it around the page or minimize it depending on what you're doing. Notability's toolbar is fixed at the top or at the bottom, depending on whether you are right-handed or left-handed. Notability has 2 pen options, 2 pen tools, a ballpoint and fountain pen. It has 2 fixed pen sizes, 32 default colors, and the ability to add 32 more custom colors to your color palette. Apple Notes has 1 pen and 1 pencil tool. For both writing tools, you can adjust their opacity and thickness. They both have 5 fixed pen sizes. Apple Notes measures opacity in percentages that show on the tool as you customize them. Each tool has 5 default colors at the end of the toolbar. You can add custom colors to a secondary color palette, and you can add as many colors as you need. Notability does not have a pencil tool, and you can't adjust the opacity of your writing tools in the application. While Notability uses vector ink, Apple Notes uses raster ink, which means the ink in Apple Notes loses its resolution as you zoom in onto the PDFs that you create from Apple Notes. The ink in Notability does not lose its resolution when you zoom in. The handwriting experience in either applications comes down to your personal preference. Both apps have accurate handwriting representation and they have no lag. It feels natural writing in both Notability and Apple Notes. The zoom tool in Notability is very basic. It has your handwriting tools on the left of its toolbar and navigation tools on the right side. You can avoid using Auto Advance by minimizing this blue section and not writing on it. Apple Notes doesn't have a zoom tool, neither can you zoom in and out of your pages in the application. This is a massive limitation for digital note-taking. In Notability, you can type directly on the page or use text boxes. We do not recommend adding text directly onto the page in Notability when mixing handwritten and typed notes. Your text boxes can be on paper textures or have colors. The color options you get are the same for the pen tool. Your text boxes do not have borders though, so they feel a bit incomplete. But at least you can get text boxes in Notability, allowing you to mix your handwritten notes and typed notes side by side. In Apple Notes, text and handwriting do not mix. They are like water and oil. You can't write comments with your Apple Pencil next to any text, be it a paragraph or a table. This limits the kind of notes you can create in Apple Notes, which means Notability creates cooler notes. Obviously, that's a given. Apple Notes has one font for your text. You have presets for your titles, headings, subheadings, body, and monospace. You can't customize them in any way or change them. You can't even change the color of your text in Apple Notes. Notability does that without breaking a sweat. Notability supports custom fonts in addition to the many fonts the application already has. You can save 3 favorite text templates. You decide what they are. These preset your font, style, which could be bold, italic, or underline, size and color of your text, which you can change anytime you want. Your presets could be for your headings, paragraphs, and emphases. A tap on your favorites changes the text format immediately. For both applications, you can edit your text to make it bold, italic, and underline, and Apple Notes can strike out your text, which Notability does not. In both applications, you can create interactive checklists, numbered lists, and unnumbered lists. The interactive checklist in Notability is one of the best on the market. It checks off, deems, and strikes out completed tasks. It makes it easy to differentiate them from tasks you've not yet done. Apple Notes can move your completed tasks to the bottom of your list as you complete them. This helps organize your tasks, but strikeout is better. Striking out completed tasks gives you a sense of accomplishment. Notability has 3 types of bullet points, where Apple Notes has 4. Different bullet points are essential for creating hierarchies in your notes. The numbered lists in Apple Notes only have 1 numbering type, but Notability has 3 types. Both applications have an indentation tool, and they both don't have text alignment options. You can customize the tools you have on your keyboard toolbar in Notability. And Apple Notes supports Scribble for text input in iPadOS 14, which Notability does not. You can access notes to your currently open folder within Notability's workspace. This will help you to go back to another notebook to add a quick note or check some information. If you're interested in knowing more about each of these applications, we have done full reviews of these 2 apps, and we will have a link to them in the description down below. Both apps' highlighters go behind your ink, but Notability still has the option to bring the highlighter to the front for users that prefer that kind of highlighting. For both applications, the highlighters have the same size and color options as your pen tools. You can decide how intense you want your highlighters to be in Apple Notes, and that is surely worth a point. In Notability, you can highlight your text as well with your highlighter tool, or you can just select some notes to highlight, which is an option you don't get in Apple Notes. Both applications can highlight in straight lines. The eraser in both apps can erase per stroke and pixel. Notability has 12 fixed sizes, and it can selectively erase the highlighter only. Apple Notes does not selectively erase the highlighter only, and the application doesn't have any sizes for your eraser. Both apps don't have the auto deselection tool that goes back to the tool you were using before selecting the eraser. The Lasso tool in both apps only selects your handwritten notes only. Your notes in Apple Notes are already disjoined anyway, so this is not surprising at all. For Notability, however, this is a bit unpleasant. Sometimes we want to select everything on the page to move it all at once, which is really not too much to ask for considering how the application allows us to mix our handwritten notes with photos and text. Notability has two types of Lasso tools in the application, a freehand and rectangular one. The freehand Lasso tool lets you move items around the page. You can resize and rotate your sections simultaneously using the two-finger gesture. The rectangular Lasso tool allows you to resize and rotate your selected notes independently, which means you can do one of those at a time. The Lasso tool in Notability allows you to change the thickness of your notes, of your written notes. You don't need the Lasso tool to select text boxes and images in Notability. You can just tap on them and move them around. However, sometimes you just want to move everything at once and you don't want to move small sections. That takes more time, obviously. So selecting everything and moving everything at once is a better option, and is an option that we definitely need to have in Notability, considering that you can mix your handwritten notes with other things on the page. The Lasso tool in Notability allows you to duplicate your content. You can't resize or rotate sections of your notes in Apple Notes. This limitation is unacceptable in digital note-taking. Resizing and rotating your notes is one of those things that make you cool in front of your friends that are still stuck in the Stone Age. It's a shame we can't do that in Apple Notes. Your Lasso tool can't change the thickness of your already written notes. You can move your handwritten sections to other handwritten sections in your notes when using Apple Notes. In iPadOS 14, Apple Notes has upgraded the Lasso tool to Smart Selection. Smart Selection lets you select your handwriting as though it were text. It would be awesome if we could select both handwriting and text like we do in Nebo. And that's only going to be possible when Apple removes the blocking system they have in Apple Notes. Smart Selection is better than the Lasso tool. You can just use your finger to long press on a word that you want to select. Gestures are faster and more convenient than the Lasso tool. Apple Notes allows you to create space between sections of your notes. This is an awesome feature to have in a digital note-taking app, and Notability should consider having it added to their app. For both applications, you can add images, scans, and web links. In Notability, you can also add audio recordings, GIFs, sticky notes, web clips, and import documents. You can add videos, tables, and attach PDFs to your notes in Apple Notes. Both applications use the native iPadOS scanner for scanning your documents. When you scan a document in Notability, you can insert it as a scan or an image. Images are smaller than PDFs. They will save space on your iPad, and these are the best way to save your scans in Notability. For both applications, you can adjust how your scan looks, colored, black and white, or just leave the photo as it is. For Apple Notes, you can do this after you've saved the scan. In Notability, you can only do this when you are taking the photo for your scan. You can rotate and export just your scans in Apple Notes. Notability can draw both regular and irregular shapes. Apple Notes supports some regular shapes, arrows, and curved lines. Both applications don't have a dedicated shapes tool. They straighten out your shapes when you draw them and long press on the screen. In Apple Notes, once you've drawn your shape, there is not much you can do to it. In Notability, you can autofill your shapes. The border of your shape can have a different color from its fill. The autofill is opaque. Unless you use the highlighter tool to draw the shape, you can't adjust the opacity of your autofill. Let's hope this is something that they will add in Notability in the future. You can adjust the thickness of your shape's border and its shape after you've already drawn it. This works best for irregular shapes. When it's regular shapes, you're basically just resizing the shape and not really changing how it looks. Both apps support the snap to other strokes function that automatically snaps edges of your shapes and arrows together. In Notability, shapes and lines snap to the grids and lines on your paper templates, and it gives you a pleasant shapes drawing experience in the application. Since Apple Notes doesn't support all shapes yet, the ruler tool can be useful to draw those shapes we still can't draw in the application. Both apps support PNG photos. You can drag and drop them into the application or add them via the photos icon. In Apple Notes, you can add your images as big or small. It's really more gigantic and microscopic, which makes both sizes unusable. We could understand the inability to mix text and handwriting if we tried hard enough. We can try to understand that. But photos, what is the point of adding photos if we can't write around them? You can do the following to your images in GoodNotes. Crop them, rotate them, resize them, add captions, and wrap text around them. All things you can't do in Apple Notes. Because in Apple Notes, you can only annotate your images in a separate window. While in this window, you can navigate through all the images you have in your notes. It really saves you time from going back and forth. So if you have multiple images in the application that you want to annotate, you can just easily scroll through them right here. Notability has vertical and horizontal scrolling. Vertical scrolling in both applications is seamless. In Notability, pages are like one continuous canvas separated by a thin horizontal line. Your handwriting can overlap across pages, giving you a continuous in quotes canvas to write on. The thin horizontal line just serves to remind you that this is where your page is ending and a new one is starting. So if you ever wanted to export your notes out of the application, you know not to overlap your notes. Apple Notes also has seamless vertical scrolling of its infinite canvas. It doesn't have a horizontal line separating your pages. If you intend to export your notes out of the application, that is not good at all. Horizontal scrolling displays one page at a time in Notability, and Apple Notes does not support this. Notability has an in-app split view for opening two different notebooks side by side using the note switcher. Both notebooks share the same workspace, so your tools can work only in one view at a time, which would be the active window. You can activate a window by tapping on it before you start writing on it. In-app split view was great a year ago. Apple Notes supports multiple instances. You can open the app twice side by side. Each instant is a fully functional app, and you can open the same notebook twice. In Apple Notes, you can access all the documents in the app from one instance. You can also open more notebooks in Slide Over. At any given time, Apple Notes can open more documents than Notability. Most note-taking applications can annotate your PDFs because they have the tools for great PDF reading. Pens, highlighters, text boxes, Apple Notes creates a thumbnail from the first page of your PDF when you add it to your notes. It can either be large or small, like your photos. Apple Notes only attaches your PDFs. It does not embed them in the application like Notability does. In Apple Notes, the PDF opens in a separate window like your photos do. Both Apple Notes and Notability can recognize hyperlinks and actively deactivate them when you're using your Apple Pencil. In Notability, you can bookmark pages in your PDFs, and you can choose to see only your annotated pages. Neither app is great for PDF reading. If you decide to use one of these applications for your note-taking, you might need to get a PDF reader, a separate PDF reader. You can search your handwriting in both apps with Handwriting Recognition. In Notability, your handwriting is converted to text in one tap, but Apple Notes does not convert your handwriting to text. Notability searches through documents you scan directly into the app, as well as documents you import from other applications. Apple Notes does not search through your scans. It only searches through the title of your scan. Notability used to search through text in images, but it's been failing to do that lately. It still can search through the images you scan into the application, but not other random images. Apple Notes converts your handwriting to create headings for your notes and text from your scans to create document titles. It copies your handwriting as text to paste it in other apps, and it supports data detection, recognizes handwritten addresses, phone numbers, emails, and dates, so you can act on them. Notability has false dark mode. It only converts the user interface and not the paper or ink in the application. For a true dark mode experience, you will need to use dark paper templates and white ink. Apple Notes, on the other hand, supports true dark mode. The application automatically switches the colors of your paper template and the ink. Dark mode in Apple Notes does not work on PDFs though. Special features make an application stand out in its category. The audio recording tool remains Notability's trump card. It's always been and probably always will be. It is an excellent feature for note-taking, especially for students or anybody who can't keep up with how fast people talk. Notability also has presentation mode, which lets you present your notes without the distracting user interface of the application. Notability also has pink guidelines that help you when you're moving images or shapes around in the application. Apple Notes can add tables to your notes. Not many note-taking applications have this feature, and this can definitely be a good reason to consider using Apple Notes. Tables are very important for note-taking. You can add videos to your notes as well. At the moment, you can only add them from your photos library. Let's hope in the future we'll be able to add videos from different applications. Data detection allows you to create reminders within Apple Notes. If you're a minimalist and you just want very basic minimalist planning, consider using Apple Notes. Notability exports 4 formats for your PDFs, which is PDF, Note, Images, and Rich Text format. PDF is the best way to share read-only notes out of any note-taking application. You can choose the pages you want to export, keep the paper template of your notes, attach audio recordings to your PDFs, password protect your PDF, add a margin around your notes, and preview the PDF you want to export. A margin around your exported PDF gives you extra space around your notes for more room when you need to annotate them later. Exporting out of Apple Notes is a bad idea. You have no control over the format you export out of the application. You can't keep your paper template background. Even though you add different attachments to your notes, the application exports them as individual files or pages. Notes created in Apple Notes are best left in Apple Notes, and that's actually not a good thing. You can collaborate on your notes in Apple Notes with someone who has an Apple ID, and this is a great feature to have because collaboration is a must-have feature in 2020. And we hope that Notability can add that to the application. Even though they come as an in-app purchase, the themes in Notability offer you options to customize your user interface. The themes are beautiful. Apple Notes has a more minimalist user interface. It makes Notability look chunky and cluttered. The mobile toolbar also adds some flexibility to how you work in Apple Notes. And it really comes down to your personal preference. Which user interface do you prefer? Do tell. Apple Notes is a much smaller application. It is about 17 times smaller than Notability. However, it creates bigger files or notebooks than Notability. Most of my notes in Apple Notes are text files, and text files are tiny documents. Notability is taking much less space, and it makes Notability's compact files quite impressive. Apple Notes has more organizational levels than Notability does. You can have up to 5 levels of organization, folders within folders, while Notability only has 2-level folder systems, dividers and subjects. You can view all the attachments in the application in Apple Notes. You can pin your notebooks to the top of your folders for easy access to notebooks that you're currently working on. Both apps support universal search. You can search all your documents, including handwritten notes, on the homepage. Notability can search through specific folders, which Apple Notes can also do. Apple Notes goes a step further to filter what you search, allowing you to focus on shared notes, logged notes, notes with checklists, drawings, scans, and attachments. Notability organizes your search results into title and content matches only. Apple Notes organizes your search results into top hits, notes, and attachments. Notability backs up your notes to Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, Box, and WebDAV. You can decide which subject to backup and in what format. Note is Notability's native format and therefore the best way to back up your notes. Unfortunately, Apple Notes does not back up anything. Backup and syncing are very different and they serve different purposes. Apple Notes needs to have backup options. Both applications can sync via iCloud, password protect your folders, set default paper templates for new notebooks, keep your deleted notebooks for 30 days before completely deleting them. Notability has more settings to customize for enhancing your user experience. Since iPadOS 13, Apple Notes has been worth comparing to other third-party note-taking applications. And in iPadOS 14, it is giving us more features that compel us to at least try it out before rushing off to buy other apps. That is definitely a step in the right direction. Which application are you convinced to try out after this review? Let us know in the comment section down below. To fully understand and appreciate the capabilities of each of these apps, make sure you check out the full reviews we've done on the applications. Thank you so much for watching. Awesome human being. See you in the next video.